You know what, brothers? We had it wrong, man. And when I say we had it wrong, I'm talking about everybody from content creators that were putting a certain message out all the way pretty much to our whole generation, our whole mini era of men that were pushing a certain narrative, that were thinking a certain thing. Like, I understand now why we as a society of men are getting the results from women that we're getting. And I'm telling you, brothers, it's simply because we had it wrong, man. And when I say we had it wrong, what I'm saying is, like, when we think about attracting women, our whole generation thinks that, let's go out and get success. Let's go out and get our degrees. Let's get our bag right. Let's get the nice shiny things. Of course, let's get in shape. Let's get swole. And the thing is, we're using these as our means of penetrating a woman's heart. But I'm telling you, brother, these things only penetrate surface level. And that's why we as a whole generation are getting the results we're getting. I'm telling you, brother, we've been doing it wrong. And I'm not saying these things aren't important, because any man that comes in front of you, man, and says that, you know what, man, a woman doesn't respond differently when you have your bag right. A woman doesn't respond a certain way when you have a six pack or when you're successful. A man is lying to you and lying to himself if he thinks that a woman doesn't respond different to that or is attracted to that. Right. So I'm not saying that. I'm not saying we shouldn't be, tackling and dominating in all those areas. I'm saying there was something that we didn't receive. And the thing is, once I finally saw it, but it was almost like a light came on. I went from my current relationship. I could look all the way back to all the women I've dated, brothers, and I could see the missing links. I could go back to even the girlfriends I dated back in high school. I could see the missing links. I could see the missing links even growing up in a household with a single mother that was dating and an older sister that was dating. Brother, the writing was on the wall. The writing was on the wall, man. Like we always say that women are complex creatures. And it seems like they are from a man that doesn't understand. When you really see everything, man, there is no such thing as women are complex, men are single. You see everything acting under one order. Everything being governed by one code. Everything is the exact same, man. And I'm telling you, bro, once you understand this code, man, the problems that men have with women, brother, they are obsolete. They are obsolete. Like I said in a previous video, man, like the problems that men are still talking about they're having, I didn't even think people still had these problems. Women are still doing this. Women are still acting like this. The only way I know men are still having these problems, man, because I hear other men complaining about it. Once you understand the code, once you understand how things move in a certain order, brother, like even the women that come in your life as friends, even women, family members will be under a certain order. You'll see everything a different way, brothers. So all I ask is this, man. Once you understand this knowledge that we'll be talking about, man, all I ask, brothers, all I ask is that you use it for good. And I don't say that jokingly. I say that meaning that once I understood this without knowing exactly what it was, brothers, I'll admit, man, I hurt some women's hearts and feelings. I hurt some women's heart, not understanding by me just governing myself to a certain order, not understanding how deeply I was penetrating inside this woman, inside her inner workings, bro. So all I ask, man, is that you once you get this knowledge, man, that you use it for good, man. Use it for long-term relationships. Use it to find a wife. Because I'm telling you, man, once you start moving in this order and with this knowledge, you'll see nothing but 1% woman. Nothing but wife types. So let's dive into it, brothers. How to unlock the world of 1% women. So, men, I want to talk about why you aren't attracting women or why you aren't attracting the woman you want, right? Why you aren't attracting women or why you aren't attracting the woman or women that you desire. I'm gonna tell you this, brothers. There was a point in my life, man, where I was attracting no one. I mean, I was attracting 0% of women. And looking back now, man, I'm like, I can clearly see where I missed the bus. And I wasn't one of these men that was scared to approach a woman. Like, I could see a woman in the grocery store. I could see a woman in the mall. I could see a woman online, which I was only on Facebook at the time. I could jump in an inbox or whatever it's called on Facebook. I could jump in that. I could see a woman at the bar or club and talk to her and offer her a drink. Brother, for some reason, I wasn't getting any women. And it got so bad, man, that I was just like, I started shooting for the bottom of the barrel. You know what I'm saying? And I hate putting women in tiers like, oh, she's a 10, she's a 2. But if I had to put women in tiers, brother, I'm going to tell you this. I was shooting at 2s. I was shooting at 2s just to see if I was still alive. I was shooting at 2s, brother, to the point where I was just wanting conversation. Like, what is going on? And the thing is, I was a handsome man. I had a home. I had a car. I dressed nice. I smelled good. Zero activity. Zero activity, man. And the thing is, again, looking back on it now, man, I can clearly see what was going on. Like before that, man, it was all about what I was standing on. I was standing on, at the time, what I was calling success. I was standing on the fact that I had accumulated a few cars, that I had done some great things in life. And all my life, man, like that was my foundation. That was my identity. That was what I led with. And when all those things, you know, kind of fell apart after I got divorced, after that world kind of fell apart, I still had the residue of that old life. I still had the cars and the crib and all these things, but the foundation of how they were built was gone. And the thing is, since I had put my energy in those things and, you know, in building a life like that, since that world was gone, since I lost my job and all these other things, internally, brother, I was energetically gone. Yeah, I might have looked good from a distance, but as soon as I opened my mouth, a woman could hear that I had no foundation. No foundation, man. I had nothing going on. You got to understand this, man. You got to understand this, because what I was saying at the time, I said, you know what? Well, you know what? All these women are dissing me. All these women aren't giving me any play. Like they don't know a good man when they see one, is what I was saying. And what I was telling myself, I said, at some point, I'm going to meet a good woman. And when I meet this good woman, she's going to see me. She's going to see my character. She's going to see that I'm a nice guy and that I, you know, do all these things and that I can love a woman and I'm a good mate and possibly a good husband. I said a good woman is going to see that and she's going to crave me. That's what I thought. I was putting all these women in a bucket. All these women, they're bad. These are 95%ers, which I wasn't calling them that back then. But look at now, I said these were all 95% women. But I'm going to tell you something, brothers. I'm going to tell you something that took me the longest time to learn. It took me the longest time to learn that the 5% woman and the 95% woman. In other words, the women for the streets, the women that were kind of wilding out, the women that were still, you know, messing with a number of guys, compared to wife type women, I didn't understand that they were seeking the same thing. See, a lot of men, we conduct ourselves thinking that we're just narrowing, you know, we're just putting ourselves in an energy to conduct good women. But brother, all women are at the base, at the lowest at the deepest level, are drawn to a certain thing in a man. All of them. In other words, the woman that's coming down the stripper pole and the Mother Teresa's are desiring the same thing within a man. Are desiring the same thing. And looking back, brothers, what I understand now is that why I couldn't get any women is because I wasn't aligned. I wasn't aligned. If there's anything, if there's nothing more attractive to a woman, brother, again, the muscles, the money, the bag, the success, all that stuff, women are drawn to that. But nothing trumps a man being aligned. Nothing trumps a man being aligned. And when a man isn't aligned, brothers, women know it. You can be shiny all you want. When you open your mouth, brother, what you are on the inside is coming out. And see, and when I talk about alignment, now I always talk about the hierarchy, meaning God, purpose, man himself, and everything else, family members, kids, and everything else falls below that. A man must be aligned, but it's not even about, you gotta think about this, because, a lot of young brothers don't even have their purpose yet. So it's not necessarily about being, tied to your purpose to have that attraction. When a man is aligned, what I'm really saying is his future, his connection to source, him searching for his purpose far outweighs his desire for women. It far outweighs his desire for women. And I'm going to tell you this, man. If the far majority of men simply understood this one thing, brother, they would at least turn the tables. They would at least turn the tables to the point where they're not out searching for women, and now women would be searching for them. That one item alone, alignment, understanding the hierarchy, saying, you know what, women are second, or women are below my purpose, even if I don't know it yet. I'm telling you, brothers, that is by far the most attractive thing to a woman. You see it all the time, man. Look on Instagram, look on social media, look in the bars, look in the clubs if you're still going to clubs. You can tell by the way, I'm gonna tell you this. Once you understand how things work, once you understand the code, once you understand how women operate, you can see a man enter a room and know if he's attracted or if he's attractive to women. Simply by the way he enters a room. Before I can tell you that. Simply by the way a man enters a room. Simply by the way a man sits at an event. Simply by the way a man eats his food when he's at a restaurant or bar by himself. It's all over men and they don't know it. Men that don't have it, men that don't know this information, they don't know that there's pretty much a sign on their forehead. When you see the brothers jumping in everybody's DM, when you see the same brothers commenting on every woman's thirst trap, brother, they have no idea. They have no idea, man, that they're pushing the whole female gender away from themselves. Alignment, man. Alignment is everything, man. Do you know how many successful men are frustrated? You know what I'm saying? Like I talked about still having some residue of success. Like if someone saw me from the distance, I would still look successful, but my foundation was broken. But I'm talking about, do you know how many successful men are still frustrated with women? Meaning brothers are making a huge bag. Brothers are in the gym every day, rocked up. Brothers are doing all these things and they're still frustrated. You have to understand, man, again, like the way we've been pursuing women, the way we've even been trying to attract women is only going surface level. Only going surface level. Like you can get her in your space, but she's gonna hear, she's gonna smell that essence coming off of you, bro. They're born to sense this. It's in their nature to sense this. So when you have a lot of men that are successful, and I'm saying successful based on what they've achieved, but they still can't figure it out. Like there are some brothers that are rocked up hard abs and still can't figure it out. Like they can bring women in, but if you look at a 12-month calendar, but they're getting women in. There's like, you know what? She was here for a minute and then we just kind of fell apart. Another one came, we fell apart. Another one came, we fell apart. And I'm not talking about men that are saying, you know what, man, I'm trying to have a rotation. I'm not talking about men that are out just trying to get a number of women. I'm talking about men that are looking for a woman the long way in his life and can't hold on to one. It's because he hasn't gone inside and done that inner work. It's because his hierarchy isn't right. He isn't aligned. He isn't aligned, man. So you gotta understand, man, the first thing is alignment, brothers. Before you talk about getting a 1% woman, before you try to understand anything associated with woman, a man must be aligned. Where he's saying, you know what? Okay, I understand. I want a woman in my life long term. But over everything, women are back burner. Women are on down the road. My primary focus is how am I gonna win in life? How am I, like, what am I going to end up doing for myself? What am I going to end up leaving the planet? And that's my primary focus. Women crave that essence when it comes off men, brothers. Women crave that essence. This is entry level. This is entry level. Again, this is just how to turn the tables. Just how to turn the tables, man. So alignment, brothers. The primary reason women aren't attracted to you because they can smell that you aren't aligned. They can smell the fact that they can smell the fact that you put them first. It's alignment. It's alignment. And then to the brothers that are saying, you know what, well, shoot, so I ain't got no problem getting women. DMs are full. Like when I go out to the store, when I go to the clubs, like women are trying to holler at me. It's a different story for you, brothers. In other words, a lot of men are saying, you know what, man, I'm desiring a 5% woman. I'm desiring a 1% woman. But all I'm seeing is trash. All I'm seeing out there is trash. You know what? All women are like that. I'm a good brother. I'm desiring a queen, but all I'm seeing is the bottom of the barrel. I was in that stage, brothers. And I'm going to tell you this. A quote that changed my life, James Allen. James Allen said, man does not attract what he wants. Man attracts what he is. Now, the first time I heard that, man, I quickly associated that with my financial situation on why my money was funny, why that. But it pertains to everything, bro. Even when I was having that red pill space, that quote came back and hit me, man. Man does not attract what he wants. Man attracts what he is. So in other words, brother, I'm going to tell you this. In other words, when I was attracting all the thotty women, you know, if I'm honest with myself, man, I was living that lifestyle. I was living a lifestyle where, man, you know what? I might call a chick on a weekend and we might hang out for a week, whatever, you know. And then next weekend or the weekend after that, I might talk to another sister. She might fly in from out of town and we doing the exact same thing. Boom, we dinners, we movies, like we about to unite. Boom, next weekend, I'm in a DM of some other chick. But in the same time, when these women come in my life and they got this certain demeanor, like man, they can't be trusted. It was because I couldn't be trusted, brothers. I couldn't be trusted. When I was attracting the ratchet women, when I was attracting cheating women, brother, it was me. It was me, man. And even once I started evolving out of being that type man, even once I thought I had it figured out, brothers, and I started just being a man that says, okay, you know what, man, I want to, be in position, man, to be a good man and move a certain way and treat women a certain way. And I became a giver. A giver, like, man, I'm gonna take care of this woman. I'm gonna spoil this woman. I'm gonna take this woman to the nicest restaurant. I'm talking about women that I was in a relationship with. I was attracting takers. When I put myself in position, man, where I say, you know what, I'm trying to be faithful. I'm trying to do all this stuff. I want to spoil a woman. I want to lead with my money still. I was attracting nothing but takers. Women that were, if I had $1 in my pocket and I wanted to offer it, they were willing to take it. They were willing to go on all these trips. Let's go to all these concerts. Let's go to all these 5-star restaurants. Let's do all these things. And again, it comes back to I wasn't in alignment. So again, man attracts what he is, not what he wants. A man attracts what he is, man. So again, when I hear people, whether it's online, whether it's in conversation, when men are saying, hey man, this is all I'm encountering. Women are doing this, women are doing that. In my mind, I'm like, well, bro, that's what you are. That's what you are, because by law, man can't attract nothing but what he is. Man can't attract nothing but what he is. So the first thing I did, man, to change that up, man, I started acting like a 1% man. I started acting like, and it took me some time. It took me separating myself from the dating world and just not only observing the world, observing me. I transformed myself to a 1% man. Meaning the first thing I said, you know what? Every woman can't fit in my space, can't fit in my life. I'm gonna tell you this, man. If you step outside your door and you go to a party and you see all these fine women, you go to a concert, the day party, and you see all these fine women. If you're saying, bro, man, I wish I could take all of these home. If you're thinking that, brothers, you're not in balance. You aren't moving like a 1% man. You're moving like the masses. If you walk in a room, first off, you walk in a room, you're not even craving it. But if you walk in a room and there's 100 women, in the back of your mind, you already know there's probably only one woman in this room that can fit my scenario, that can fit my life. In other words, man, it's a lot of bad women in here. There's a lot of bad women. There's a lot of bad women in the world. Get on social media, get on the gram. There's a lot of bad women on the internet, bro. Instagram. But as you're scrolling, man, and you're seeing these thick thighs, you're seeing these pretty eyes, you're seeing these nails did and hair did. As an elite man, you already know, brother, only 1 in 100 is able to fit my life. And I had to start carrying myself like that. When you carry yourself like an elite man, brother, you get treated like an elite man. You get treated like an elite man, meaning the first thing is sex is on the back burner, bro. A woman can sense when a man walks in a room and will drink her bath water. A woman can sense it by the way he enters a room, by the way he speaks to her, the questions he asks, the questions he doesn't ask, the things he's interested in, the energy he gives her. A woman can tell, man. A woman can tell, brothers. So again, before we even talk about getting a 1% woman, brothers, we have to understand first why we aren't even attracting women. And it's because we aren't in alignment. It's because we aren't in alignment. Purpose must be first. God must, source, energy, whatever you call that, source must be first. Purpose must be second. Then self. Everything is self. And then everything else. But even if you don't have purpose, a man in search of filling that void is still moving in the right energy. A man where at least finding that purpose is moving in the right energy. Like when I talked about years ago, when I said, man, a man should never fall in love with a woman. A man should never fall in love with a woman. That's all I was saying. All I'm saying is a man should never flip that hierarchy. A man should never put a woman above himself or above purpose, and definitely not above source. You know, man, the thing is, for the longest time, man, I would see like the old schoolers. And when I say old schoolers, meaning I would see a lot of the old men in my neighborhood. I would see a lot of my uncles, right? I would just observe the dynamic of their relationships. And brother, I couldn't understand it. I couldn't understand it because I was so much in my mind of the way men think now. Oh man, the thing is, you want to pull up in something shiny. You want to do this. You want to be like, this is what manhood is. But I had no idea what manhood was. Even when I looked at them old schoolers and couldn't identify what it was that made them have their women like that. Like to have their women, to have my aunts so attracted to them after 40 and 50 years of marriage, still just like attached to them in a certain way, still treating them a certain way. I couldn't understand it, brothers. But the thing is, man, these men, my uncles, these old schoolers, They had the knowledge, even if they didn't know they had the knowledge. They knew the code. They knew the code, brothers. It's a certain energy and a certain way in a certain thing. Once a man knows it, brothers, everything will change.